Joe, why do you think so many people are convinced that aliens have already visited Earth and there's an international conspiracy to cover it up?
Because it's sexy.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting to think that daddy's out there waiting to tell us what's wrong with the world. I mean, that's what aliens are. Essentially, it's the atheist God. I mean, a lot of people that are really, really into aliens are also atheists. And I think we as tribal beings, we as these, at one point in time, we were ancient, you know, when we were hominids, primates, we had this alpha male structure where there was always a leader. And that one leader today is essentially the president, right? I mean, we have this structure where we have this one leader. And I think when we know that everybody is kind of clueless, at a certain point in time in your life especially, you start looking at just the overall big picture of the infinite universe and the fact that you have a finite life and you're trying to accumulate as much understanding about what this is all about as you can while you're here for 90 whatever years if you're lucky, and that freaks us out. And we would like to think that someone out there is more advanced and is ahead of us, like a daddy, that can tell us what's wrong and what's going on. And that, I think, there's like an instinctual desire to look for that alpha. And I think in a lot of intelligent people, that is aliens. That is some advanced culture that has figured out how to bypass all the monkey nonsense that we're currently involved with war and famine and all the different craziness, violence, and all the horrible things, drug addiction, that this culture has moved past that and has gone to this new place, and they could help us. They could help us pull ourselves out of this primordial muck that we find ourselves in right now.
What's my main purpose? Why am I doing this interview with you now? It's to try and help other people along their journey. And I think at this point in our evolution, people are waking up spiritually and they're starting to ask all these questions. And that's what's important now, trying to make the world a better place. And how do you do that? The people are saying, how do you change the world? We know about all this shit that's going on. People know now the real situation in the world. They know it's a lot of illusion. They know things are being controlled. They know these excuses for wars and terrorism is false. They know that. But what can they do? Change yourself. That's, you know, that's the message that I've learned. If you change yourself and you change yourself internally, you will change the world around you. And that's all you can do as an individual.
It's interesting to me that to see two men who were at the top of their sports and who held titles for 6 or 7 times, and you know, one maybe such as Arnold is off there kind of acquiring more and trying to take over more, project power more, accumulate more.
But it's all an illusion. What's the point of accumulating more and accumulating more? I mean, you know, this whole thing's an illusion anyway. So of course I'd like to have a comfortable life, you know, and I can do that. But achieving more and more, for what, you know? More and more things. More and more cars that will turn into rust and go into the ground eventually. They're nothing, you know. So the real things in life are the experiences you have. They're real. Yeah, they're real, and the effect that you have on your fellow man and the world around you, and that's real as well. So I'm trying to be a white cell here in this body. I believe the planet, the Earth, is a living thing. And as we have cells inside our body's made up of billions of cells. I think we're cells in this living organism. And you can be a good cell or you can be a cancer cell. And I'm trying to be a good cell, that's all.
So are you a cancer cell? Are you a good cell? Do you understand that you are one cell to the collective? Do you understand that what you do to yourself affects other people? Dorian Yates understands that. And wouldn't it be nice if Daddy came along and told us what's wrong with us? I thought it was interesting how Joe Rogan pointed out how atheists look at aliens as their daddy, in the same way Christians look at God as their daddy. our Father who art in heaven. Thought that was an interesting comparison Joe Rogan did, although he didn't say anything about religion at that point. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know that much about Joe Rogan. And Dorian Yates, I didn't even know who he was until I watched this little clip just a couple days ago. Created a file on both these guys the other day, so I tried to get a little better understanding of where they're coming from. Of course, I'd known about Joe Rogan for a while. Never heard of Dorian Yates before. Not into bodybuilding or anything, but I thought it was fascinating that he understood that if you want to, that what's the purpose is we want to make the world better. He's spot on. And how do we do that? You know, a lot of us are aware of how things are working, but what do? Change yourself. He's spot on. This is exactly what I've been saying. We all play a role when it comes to solving our problems. The problem is we don't know what's wrong with us. That's why we keep expecting Daddy to come along with that knowledge. What are we doing wrong? I know what we're doing wrong. It's obvious what we're doing wrong, but no one wants to hear that story. So if aliens did come along and came and visited us, there's a good chance if they had that type of technology that they probably knew what we're going through, knew that we weren't to be trusted. Something's wrong with our species, as everyone knows. And we just keep thinking someone's going to come along and give us that information. Well, that information is available. We don't need aliens to come along. We don't need to be divinely inspired to understand this. All we have to do is just use common sense and realize that there's a simple law we must obey. It has to do with cause and effect. And the problem is we don't have the knowledge of how to live. This is what Joe Rogan wants, or atheists that don't believe in God are and the God for atheists would be the aliens, that they have this knowledge. And again, if we were visited by aliens and they saw what we were doing, or they knew where we were at evolutionarily, they knew that it would probably be impossible to get us to do anything about it if they came down. And again, they knew that we wouldn't be trusted, that there's something wrong with us as a species. And we need to pull ourselves out of it, and all we need is knowledge. And again, the problem is if we were given the knowledge, we wouldn't want to believe it. We are addicted and in denial at what's causing our mistakes. This is the biggest obstacle we have. We don't want to know we are the enemy. And we keep expecting someone else to come along and save the day. That's not going to happen. We are our own heroes. We have to be the best that we can be, as Dorian Yates points out, but if you don't have the knowledge, you can't do that. So I looked at Dorian Yates' diet, and he doesn't understand why we have this problem and what it's going to take to be the best that we can be. In fact, people like Dorian Yates usually get sick very early because of their false belief that we need all this animal protein. And yet Joe Rogan is following the paleo diet, so he doesn't really understand either. Although I believe that man is open-minded and would look at this, and if he could just test an idea as time has gone, he'd realize that this is the daddy. We are our own daddies. We are the solution. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. And that's the whole purpose of my YouTube channel, is to help wake people up and realize that don't expect for aliens to come along. Yes, we need the knowledge. Well, I have it on my YouTube channel. You can go down below into the description box and look at a solid food vacation playlist I put together. Right now I have around 28 videos that will help you do a solid food vacation. Now I don't go into specifics about juice this and juice that, but I give you the basics on how to put together a formula. You don't need any more than that. Watch my videos, take notes, figure out what you need to do. This is worth your time and investment to do it. And when you do this, you will be then playing your role by being the best that you can be. Because what you do does affect everyone else. No man is an island. The individual cannot escape the collective. There is no such thing as escaping Plato's cave, because as long as the vast majority of our species is down in this cave, we're all in this cave. But we can come out of the cave very quickly. All we have to do is get enough of us to get everyone's attention. And this world could change in a flash. So if you want to contribute to solving problems, for example, and you want to find a cure for cancer and you're donating money to cancer, don't donate your money to them. You're actually part of the problem. If we could just get a small fraction of the millions of dollars that are going to cancer research and use that to fund this message, to promote a global solid food vacation, to wake everyone up, that's all we need. And I know this can be done because Bill Bright already did it. He won a $1 million award in 1996 to get 1 million Christians to do a 40-day solid food vacation, a Jews fast, a Jews feast, to do what Jesus did for 40 days on water, but let's do it on juices. In 1 year, he had 14 million people doing this. So this is exciting. This can happen. We need to devote more energy into doing the right thing and get out of this cave of ignorance that we're in, where we're suffering needlessly. So it's time to get excited, my friends. It's time to tell everyone you know that they can be the best that they can be. If they're suffering with almost any type of illness, if they change what they do, they'll change what they get. Now, I mentioned in all of my videos that we have to remove the primary causes, but we have to realize that we can be individually damaged. And that can be where it can get a little complicated. I try my hardest to explain all that in my other videos. So again, go down below into the description box. I'll have a video for the first step of my 3-step process. I explain all that in my other videos. I also upload a couple of videos to get you motivated. So watch the Deborah Juggins Show, get motivated. Listen to the Dr. Robo interview and get motivated. And when you can do all that and apply this knowledge, you're in for a treat.